Hello, my name is Kara Hudson Lagrone, and this is the Beef Project. Pros and cons for cattle raising involve pros like land utilization, protein sources, as they are one of the highest protein sources a human can access, economic benefits such as income for farmers, as they are a large part of our United States economy. Grassland management to help, as the next part says, carbon sequestration, as it helps implant carbon into the soil, as well as nutritional values specifically for people who are not able to change themselves to a vegan or vegetarian diet because of their things like iron deficiencies and such for medical reasons. Cons include environmental impacts due to greenhouse gas emissions, water usage, as cattle takes up a large section of water usage, deforestation, which directly contradicts grassland management, and land utilization, as not all land needs to be used for human use. Land degradation due to overgrazing, which also directly contradicts the grassland management, because a lot of corporations don't use sectioned off grassland management to make sure that the land will be properly nutrient dense. Feed required to help raise stock, as well, as a lot of our feed goes to helping raise stock or help pets, as well as animal welfare concerns, as CAFOs are a large problem in this community. Impacts on the planet. A lot of runoff and odor is present in small and diverse quantities and have become concentrated and significant compared to 40 years ago, according to Falcon, a Stanford director. Impacts of consumption involve just 12% of all Americans being responsible for half of the U.S. beef consumption since 2003. And the meat lovers are more likely to be male and slightly more likely to be white or not a college graduate. According to a chart sourced by the USDA on Sentient Media, the number of slaughtered animals in the U.S. by year does not specify beef as the issue, as the number has stayed stable. However, chickens have risen drastically by a little under 1 billion in that same time frame, in about 10 years of a time frame, actually. Meat production has jumped 14.9% from 2010 to 2020, but the amount of meat we humans actually have consumed per capita only increased to 10.9% if we include food waste and pet food in the calculations, according to Sentient Media. For the impacts on people, 90% reduction in the number of small feedlots near Falcons, as I said before, the deputy director of Stanford's program on food security and environment's childhood home. This means larger corporations have taken over a majority of feedlots for meat in the U.S. For the past 2 decades, white men have held the majority of beef consumption, while on the other hand, women, the young, the old, and college-educated students are less likely to eat large amounts of meat in a 2003 study, according to Sentient Media. A shift this study has noted is that white men are more likely to eat meat than in 2003, while at the same time, black men have become the opposite. They have lowered their consumption of meat, possibly due to the veganism movement in black communities. However, it has become common for those with a far-right ideology to use their consumption of beef as a testament to their masculinity. Younger generations like Gen Z and millennials are more likely to involve themselves in diets that involve less meat because of the environmental impact, like veganism, vegetarians, or flexitarians. Those are just a couple of the diets that are available to those who wish to have an impact on meat consumption. For impacts on profits, from a quote in Sentient Media, in developing countries, when people have more money, they increase the meat and animal products in their diets. The only way to reach peak meat, which is characterized by Americans eating the most meat they have in history and therefore reducing meat consumption, we will need cheap plant-based meats, hybrid meat products, cultivated meat pet food, hefty government investments into agricultural research, or action in governmental policy. We will not be able to move forward or reach the peak meat cycle that we have estimated if such things don't occur. For my final thoughts, as someone who consumes beef and works with cattle, I understand how cattle raising can impact the environment in good and bad ways. However, it truly depends on the form of farming used to manage such cattle. With 8 billion people on the earth and only 22% that don't consume meat, it is overwhelmingly true that the beef industry will continue to thrive as many wish not to conform for the betterment of the environment, including myself. There are other ways to help, however. Buying from local producers and butchers can not only help the environment how people wish they could, but they will learn more. Finding out about which cuts are cheapest, how it's processed, how it's raised can help people distinguish quality items from mass-produced and poorly treated beef. And this is my bibliography.